everybody, it's James. It's Friday. It's time for a story. This here is the 17th of March, and I got a good one for you tonight. This is a book my dad used to read for me when I was like 4 or 5 years old. My father was wonderful. He used to do all the silly voices and all the stories he read to me, and this one just stuck with me. This is a book by Titus. This is Anatole. My father used to call it Anatole the Dormouse. I don't know why. Can't imagine why. Anatole. In all of France, there was no happier, more contented mouse than Anatole. He lived in a small mouse village just outside Paris. With his dear wife, Doucette, and his 6 charming children, Paul and Paulette, Claude and Claudette, George and Georgette. Every evening as the sky darkened, the husbands and fathers would bicycle along the boulevard towards Paris to find food for their families. Once arrived, they entered people's houses through secret passageways known only to themselves, and Anatole's partner was usually Gaston. Well, one night, they were looking for leftovers in someone's kitchen, and Anatole heard people in the next room talking about mice. Well, curious, he crept under the sofa, and he listened. "Oh, those terrible mice," complained a woman. "They sneak into my kitchen, they rummage around my garbage pail, and they pull themselves up on the table, and they take what is there. Sometimes they nibble at the untasted food, and I must throw it away. Heaven knows how dirty their paws are." "They are a disgrace to all France," said a man angrily. "To your mouse is to be a villain." Well, deeply shocked, Anatole ran back to the kitchen. "Oh, Gaston, we must leave immediately." And on the way home, Anatole, greatly upset, told his friend what had happened. "Ah, a mere trifle," scoffed Gaston. "People are people, mice are mice. Our loved ones must eat. Our only hunting grounds are people's homes." "But I never dreamed we would be regarded this way," said Anatole. "It's horrible to feel scorned and unwanted. Where is my self-respect, my pride, my honor?" "Ah," Gaston shrugged his shoulders indifferently. "Resign yourself, Anatole. C'est la vie." Doucette comforted him. "Oh, you are so right, Anatole," she said sadly. "If only we could give people something back in return. But that's impossible." Anatole jumped up and danced Doucette around the room. "Impossible? Perhaps not, ma petite. You have given me a wonderful idea." And he sat down at the typewriter and he typed 30 or 40 signs that said, "Extra specially good, good, not so good, and not good." Then he stuck a long pin through each sign and put them carefully away in his briefcase. Well, riding to Paris that evening, Anatole said, "Gaston, will you feel insulted if I go alone? After this, I have an idea that I must work on in secret." Gaston answered, "I am your friend, n'est-ce pas? A friend is never insulted. A friend has faith. Good luck. Bonne chance." When they reached Paris, Anatole left the others and headed toward the business part of town, and he parked his bicycle in front of the Duval cheese factory. He squeezed his small mouse body easily under the door, not forgetting his briefcase. How heavenly it smelled inside. His sensitive nose sniffed many delicious cheeses: Camembert, Port-Salut, Bleu, Saint-Marcellin, Roquefort, Brie. Well, thought Anatole, I must not stand here sniffing all night. There's work to be done. And he hurried up and down one dark passageway and another until he found what he was looking for, the cheese tasting room. It was dimly lit, filled with long wooden tables, and on them stood great mounds of cheese of all shapes and sizes. And without further delay, Anatole climbed up on the nearest table, and first he tasted a bit of Camembert. Oh, couldn't be better. And he opened his briefcase, took out an extra specially good sign, and he pinned it on top of the cheese. The next one tasted much too sharp, so he used a not-so-good sign, and he wrote something on it in pencil. And up and down the long rows of cheeses went Anatole for hours and hours, sniffing and tasting and pinning signs. Next morning, at the factory, there was great excitement. Everyone wondered who had written the strange little signs. In marched Monsieur Duval himself. We'll soon see just how much this Anatole knows about le cheese. He tasted some Roquefort. Touché. Anatole is right. This does need more orange peel. Now listen, all of you. Business has been none too good lately. We'll try making cheese Anatole's way, and we'll see what happens. Well, every night, Anatole left more little signs, and every day the cheese workers made more changes to the cheese. Soon business began to boom. The people of France demanded Duval's cheese or no cheese at all, and orders poured in so fast that Monsieur Duval enlarged his factory, and he gave everybody raises and salary. But he couldn't discover who was leaving the signs. Why doesn't Anatole appear? Monsieur Duval asked his secretary. He deserves to be rewarded. We owe all of our good fortune to him. He wrote a little note begging to meet Anatole, but Anatole wrote back he preferred to remain unknown. Monsieur Duval even had every employee named Anatole come to his office for questioning, but each one denied that he'd left the signs. It was no use. The secret remained a secret. And then one afternoon, Monsieur Duval rang his secretary, and he dictated a very long letter. My dear Anatole, this letter comes to thank you for all you have done. Our success is due entirely to your wonderful work. I am most anxious to meet you in person, but since you prefer to remain unknown, I shall respect your secret. But whoever you are, it is clear that you love le cheese greatly. Please help yourself to all the cheese you like, as often as you like, and every night there will be some good French bread left here for you, and chocolate eclairs, and other dainties. How I wish I could reward you more richly. Anatole, we salute you. From now on, we shall think of you fondly as first vice president in charge of cheese tasting. Remember, you are always welcome here. With every good wish for your happiness, your friend, Henri Duval. When Doucette saw the letter, she said, "No more snooping around in strange people's houses for you. That's finished forever. You are the smartest mouse in the world." Paul and Paulette, Claude and Claudette, and George and Georgette climbed up on his chair and hugged him. "We are so proud of our beloved papa. He is now a respectable business mouse." Well, the next day, Anatole invited Gaston to be his helper, and the older mouse made a very deep bow. "Gladly, I will join you." Then he kissed his friend on both cheeks. Vive Anatole! Was he content to sit back and do nothing about our way of life? No, no, he is a mouse of action. He's a mouse of honor. A mouse magnifique. And so it came to pass. Anatole and his partner worked at the factory side by side in perfect harmony. The secret stayed a secret, always. So, if you should ever meet a mouse looking for leftovers, you will know at once that it cannot possibly be Anatole, the happiest, most contented mouse in all of France. That's Anatole, the dormouse. Night, everyone.
1